everybody. This is second episode.
It's Lawrence Stars, baby!
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Football Side Commanders Edition. We're ready to get rolling today, and I'm telling you, we've got a little bit to kind of go over with you today. I know it's the week, Pro Bowl week. It's the week between the conference championship game and the Super Bowl. But you know what? Washington Commanders never give us not enough stuff to talk about, so we're going to talk about it. First thing I want to kind of show you is some beautiful pictures of what the new stadium might look like. To me, this is one of my favorite pictures right here.
Yeah.
Kind of like sunset, lights coming on. I mean, if it really truly looks this way, it's going to be pretty breathtaking to actually go see this in real life. I'm getting more and more excited about this. I will tell you at first glance, I wasn't really too keen on the design, but I'm
What?
warming up to it a little bit. I think they try to make it more imperialistic looking, maybe to match a little bit more of what goes on in DC. Maybe that was the theme base that the company kind of went behind. But I was expecting maybe a more of a modern feel. But maybe with the lighting and everything, who knows? Maybe it would give us a really, really good look. Here's another picture of what it looked like during the day. So again, it has that very imperialistic government looking kind of structure to it. Um, another night kind of picture from a different angle. It'd be really cool if it kind of looks like this. I guess the other one looked like it had more gold lighting. This one looks like it has more white, and then another daytime picture. So, if indeed this is what it ends up looking like, I think it's something that's going to be really exciting to kind of have a stadium, and it's going to be back in DC where the old RFK site is. Um, and I think it'll bring a new level of excitement to the team. Just so y'all know, the debris from the old RFK Stadium is being broken down now. Sometime this year, they're going to actually start the building. They'll declare a certain groundbreaking ceremony. Don't know when that's exactly going to happen this year, but it is happening this year with the final completion of the 70,000 seat stadium being in 2030. So hopefully they'll have it ready by the 2030 NFL season that the Commanders will be playing in this stadium. What do you think, Lars Arch, from what you first initially see?
I can't believe you didn't like it. I was in love with that stadium the minute I saw it, that rendering. I thought it reminds me of like the TJ Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial. I think it fits DC's monuments. It looks
Yeah, and
like
I
a
think that's
monument.
probably what they went after was to
I
make it
love
look
it.
more like that.
I'll tell you what
Um,
I hate.
what do you hate?
The surround. Like I want to see the stadium. The apartment buildings are too close. That's what I
Well,
didn't.
I think that's not a real accurate
I
rendition of
know.
what it's going to look like when the surrounding area, because like where all those trees and everything else, most of that's going to be parking.
Yeah.
A lot of those buildings are like models, like that's not really accurately predicted, right? A lot of that's going to turn into sports complexes and stuff like that, and other shops that they're looking in the area. So, it's not a really good rendition of what it really will look like in its actual environment. So, we'll have to wait to see what that really looks like and get real photos. But like the whole area is going to be under development.
Also, they don't call me large stars for nothing. I was about ready to get out my ranch dip and my cheese dip and pour it in there and get ready to eat some chips out of that thing. It looks
It just
perfect,
looked like
man.
a big old cheese bowl. All right, everybody. Well, that is the welcome. That is the Commanders Edition kind of welcome into this thing. But we got so much to kind of cover today. So one of the top things I want to kind of go over some key NFL dates. As you guys will know, we kind of went over this last week, but I kind of want to highlight some of those. We've had some coaching changes, and I kind of want to give you my thoughts and perspectives on how things are going. And we'll continue with our my overall tracker, my disappointment tracker, and we will kind of keep that going as well. So first of all, this thing's been abbreviated for this month. The key date is tomorrow, where the Pro Bowl activities will begin at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, California. To me, who cares? Obviously, the next major event for all of us to watch is the Super Bowl, which will be in Santa California next Sunday. Very much looking forward to that. Even though it's the New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks, neither team which I give a crap about, but it'll be a Super Bowl nonetheless. And then as we move to the next major event that I care about is the NFL Scouting Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Can't wait for the 23rd of February through the 2nd of March for that to happen. Next major things that we have is we're preparing for the start of the new season. The start of the new season will occur on March 9th, where the beginning part at 12 o'clock will start the new season from the perspective of teams being able to start negotiating with players, which those contracts will not go into effect until March 11th at 4 p.m., which is the official start of the 2026 league year, March 11th. We will have so much news. We have extraordinary amount of cap space in Washington. We will have more once we release Marshawn Lattimore. And so March 11th, the day to me, which is just going to be a fun day, especially to report on this channel. April 6th, we go into clubs that have hired new head coaches, which is not ours, even though we have new coordinators. We do not have a new head coach. So for us, our clubs and coaches begin their off-season workout programs on April 20th. That's the big day. And then the NFL draft, the 23rd to the 25th of April in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, to let you guys know, we've showed this chart with you before. We currently are sitting at $63,414,851 available cap space. I'm expecting that to grow by $18.5 million at the beginning of the league year on March 11th, when the official release of Marshawn Lattimore's contract goes into effect. We are in a team re-signing period that could start almost immediately. Current players that we have on there, we could give them contract extensions. Typically, those transactions do not start until after the Super Bowl. Teams universally do not want to do anything that overshadows the Super Bowl. So I would expect the confetti to fall when someone is named a champion, 24 hours for everybody to kind of enjoy those celebrations. Then you'll start seeing teams starting to come back to work and really start talking about and re-signing their own players, which before the league year starts. Once the league year starts, free agency is full and blast. And if you haven't re-signed your players, guess what? They all turn into free agents. So currently right now, the Washington Commanders are at 52 players on a 90-man roster. Not much different than what other teams are. You can kind of see the numbers of some of those other top teams that are out there. I'm not showing the any other team right now, all the other teams, where their salary cap situation, because this chart here is mainly only meant to show the Commanders. Okay. With that, want to give you guys an actual announcement that we do the NFL shows every day through the week, Monday through Friday. They are pre-recorded through the week. They're not live streamed like they are right now. But if you want them to be live streamed, I need you to get in the comment section and say, Coach Man Mike, make this a live stream. I want to participate. And if we get enough people to say, I want to participate and make this a live stream, who knows? We might be able to convince Lars Sarge to actually do it. What do you think, Lars Sarge?
I'm all game.
All game. That's right. All right. So we do have a new defensive coordinator in the midst of us is Durante Jones, who is a new defensive coordinator. Very interested to see what he has. I'm not super excited about this signing, honestly. But you're getting a lot of gauge up there in Washington. What are people up in Washington saying about him?
Well, I don't know, but I like that game face on that photo. I like that game face, actually. If he's got that game face on Sunday, I like that. But here's the news.
The salute to service hoodie that he's wearing there. That's kind of cool.
So here's the deal. Here's the overall take so far in DC. This is either the most brilliant moves ever made by Washington on a roll of the dice, and we just found the best coaches, hidden gems, needles in the haystack ever, and we're going to the Super Bowl. And or Not only does Dan Quinn lose his job, but Adam Peters is out. And Dia is making the play call of the century that Dan isn't going to make it past week 4. That is literally, there's nothing in the middle, not even mediocre. It is, we're going all the way. These are the hidden stars, the hidden play callers of the future that no one knew about, and we snuffed them. We sniffed them out, and they're gonna turn this program around, or it's a complete and total bust.
So you ready for my bold prediction?
Yeah,
It's a complete and total bust.
and me too.
Shocker, right? So, like, I am sorry, but like the Washington Commanders have not had in the past 3 decades almost really done anything to find a diamond in the rough that really transpired into anything. So, like, to be living under this delusional kind of thought process that somehow we found the greatest offensive and defensive coordinator that came out of nowhere, and it's hard enough to find one diamond in the rough. But you think you found 2? No, come on. I will say this: I'm willing to give Durante Jones a slither more credit than the hire of Joe Witt. Joe Witt, I was just like, really?
Yeah.
Durante Jones, I'm more like, really? Like, I'm really, I don't give either one of them a lot, but I will say Durante Jones is probably a slightly better choice, but I don't see him lasting long. And I'll tell you, the Blau movement with David Blau, I'm just like, absolutely like, no.
Durante Jones at least has a resume. The problem with the Durante Jones hire is we don't have the player personnel to execute his scheme that he had in Minnesota. We don't have that the player personnel, the defensive backs to play his style of coaching. He's going to have to really adjust, or we're going to have. I mean,
we're going to have to rebuild, because here's the deal.
Styles is the guy he needs, and that's one piece, and he needs more than one piece.
Well, here's the deal. I don't think our defense is actually built for any style. Our defense probably, when I look at it honestly, probably has 6 starters on this team.
Yeah.
That are credible, enduring starters that are going to be able to gel together. Everybody else is like pieces, right? And we promote people long before they should be, or we hold on to them long after we should have them gone. So like, and we bring old players into this team thinking that they're going to be a patch job. I mean, like, it's just like really not a healthy place for us to be. No other team quite does it like the Commanders, and he clearly showed this year.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I have to put it on my disappointment tracker. I don't know why disappointment turned out that way on my slide. That's very disappointing. So maybe that's appropriate, though. Maybe my disappointment tracker should be disappointing in the way that the title came out. It fits.
It just fits,
right?
doesn't it?
It fits. I might just keep it that way. It truly is a disappointment tracker. Let's just be truly disappointing. All right. So the hiring of David Blau, obviously, the hiring of Durante Jones, and the offensive position hirings, all of them, so far, every decision that they made so far in 2026, I give it. Like, seriously? Like, there were so many other candidates. So many other candidates you could have done. But once you start going a bad direction, you're not going to attract greatness. This is going to continue to have a bleed over effect. I don't mean to be Debbie Downer on this, but it's it's going to be very difficult to attract quality free agents and free agency when your offense and defensive coordinator happen to be David Blau and Durante Jones.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. People are getting excited thinking like, hey, we got Diamond Rough and we're going to the Super Bowl. These are the typical, I'm not going to say Redskins fans because they're not. These are the typical Commanders fans that are delusional, that are probably on crack, who think like this team's going to go to the freaking Super Bowl. They're not. This team is nowhere close. This team is probably can't even muster a winning season for 2026 the way that they
Oh,
are.
no, 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 no.
Unless they take
No, no.
drastic measures now to rebuild this team. And so far, these coaching hires do not make it very promising that you're going to be able to attract the talent. Real, true star talent of this league is going to go like, who am I going to play for? Oh, nah.
Yeah.
And if that's their reaction, they're not coming to Washington.
Yeah. They don't, at least they don't want to. And the people that we have already that we need to pay money to stay to play are going to be more expensive. It's like, oh no, you want me to stay here? No, you're going to have to pay me more.
Yeah. And so everything has a snowball compounding effect, right? So once you start going the wrong way, it's just like it catches momentum. It just goes the wrong way.
Yeah, Jack
My
is saying,
outlook for this, I have to agree with Shaq. Like this is not going to be a very good year, and everybody's going to get fired. I'm not going to say it's going to happen week 4, but I'm not expecting like high results. But please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong.
Jack is saying because we have Durante, look for a safety or cornerback in the first round. But Peter's already said his first priority in the draft is an edge. He's already come out and said that. He's on record saying it. So
it's a year late, but I'm glad he's like thinking about it. Like you should have listened to us last year when we were saying that.
Yep.
When the edge rush class was deep.
And that's not Durante's package. That's not what he's used to running. That's not his dynamic blitz scheme. It's just he's going to have to rethink how he wants to run a defense based on player personnel and where we're at in the draft. I even watch mock drafts having us pull back twice in the first round,
which I would love to do.
Yeah, which we think
is more picks.
Yeah, so this is going to be the craziest draft for us, trying to see how they shank this out, trying to build a defense, because I think that's all we have a chance to do. Actually, I don't think we have a chance to do much else but try to build for the future and try to suck enough to get in the top 10 for the draft next year. Which I think we have a high percentage chance to do. I think we have a high, especially if Kingsbury signs with the Giants. I think we finish last in the division, and we have a very good shot of being in the top 5 next year.
Man, that'd be, and that could very well happen. We end up being last in the division. We have another high draft pick. I know that that's not promising and everything, but Dan Quinn, of course, is our coach, and he's going to be entering his 3rd season this year. That he's probably going to start off the season on the hot seat if he isn't already. I imagine that this season has all the makings of being a disaster. It is going to take significant effort. If they're able to rebuild this team in a positive way to get them moving in the right direction, maybe jobs are saved, but it's going to be an uphill battle for relevancy, an uphill battle for coaching staff survival, I think this year.
Mm-hmm.
And well, he's going to be doing that with a brand new offensive coordinator, David Ball, who has no NFL offensive coordinator experience or play calling experience. He was literally our assistant quarterback coach. And he's leapfrogged everybody to become the offensive coordinator. On one particular note, coming back for his 3rd season is Larry Izzo, who's our special teams coordinator. He's coming back. To my best knowledge, he's not going anywhere. So at least from a special team standpoint, we'll have a little bit of continuity. And then, of course, Durante Jones being our new defensive coordinator. And we'll see. Is he going to bring in a Brian Flores Minnesota Vikings defense, or is he going to try to create something else? To your point,
he can't, because we don't have player personnel to execute it. We can't draft and or free agency one in the door either. We got to spend a lot of money to keep our line together. Yeah, well, I mean, we can try, but we don't have the money or the draft capital to do it.
So when you make choices like we did, I kind of said this before. Again, hate to beat them up, but you're not going to attract big time talent to your team when you get a couple of assistants to be your coordinator. So what happens? is our DB coach, defensive pass coordinator, Jason Simmons. He joined the Steelers, the assistant head coach for offensive game passing. Brian Johnson, who I said probably should have been interviewed this job instead of David Blah. He is now being interviewed by the Denver Broncos. I told you we would not be able to keep him. I fully expect the Denver Broncos to either take him or he ends up somewhere else. Aaron Wilson also reported that Commanders have let go 3 more of their coaches from their coaching staff. Assistant defensive line coach Sheriff Floyd, assistant linebacker and pass rush specialist Ryan Kerrigan, which you all know is our franchise's sack leader from the Redskins. He has decided to leave the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And player developmental coach Pete Ogningian, he is also out. So what does that mean for David Blau and Durante Jones? Well, as they finalize their staffs, they're going to have to still go out and look for more assistant positional coaches to fill out their coaching staff, because you're not going to be able to attract anybody that has a resume.
Time to look for the water boy.
I've said this before, and so far everything I said has been correct. Like when you do this, it has a compounding effect. So as much as people want to get excited about this and get like, oh yeah, let's go, Commanders. I hope for the best, and I hope we make progress as an organization, but this is not too enticing.
I say we bring in one of those male cheerleader guys, the guy leading our squad, because we don't think women can lead the squad anymore. I say we get one of those athletic male cheerleaders that we have.
To do what?
Coach. We get the water boy, one of the male cheerleaders, get him off the cheerleader squad, bring him in. The guy that paints the lines, he's got talent. We could, he could teach people how to run run back one sprints. There's a lot of qualified talent, behind the scenes.
Those That's people right. They're already there.
Right, they're already there. They're in the house. I mean, there's a lot of people we can pull from that, have talents that you just don't know. We got to give them a chance now.
So another guy I think that's probably on his way out the door is Anthony Lynn. There's head coaching interest in him to a degree. There's only 2 head coaching jobs left. Mm-hmm. I actually do not think he gets either one of those jobs, but I also don't think he stays. So someone's going to snatch him up, making him an assistant somewhere else. You cannot take a guy with his kind of caliber and experience and have him mentor a young kid like David Blau and all of a sudden expect him to go then work for the guy. This guy was levels above David Blau, and now all of a sudden you want him to work for him? Don't see it happening. Yeah, he's going to end up going somewhere else.
That's a slap on both cheeks, not just one.
Yeah. So, you just can't expect that to happen. And if that was your intent to clean house, well, that was successful. I just can't see what you're doing as being progress.
Has he resigned?
He has not yet.
Why?
He's probably just weighing options. I don't know. Things get kind of quiet this year. Sometimes at this point of year right now, between the Super Bowl, people taking a little bit of time off. They're just not going into the office. They're just like, hey, I'm taking a little bit of downtime. Sometimes people don't want to make emotional decisions. They would rather just kind of like let things settle and then make
more logical decisions. That?
Huh?
What's emotional about that? Dan Quinn just said, are you what? I'd have thrown my toy, said, see ya.
Yeah, a lot of people would do that, right? Be like, hey, listen, if that's what you're going to do, I'm out of here, right? But
let me get me a job with someone who
people who are really truly professional out there. They're just like, listen, I'm just going to let it settle. I'm not going to make an emotional decision, and I'm going to field phone calls. As soon as he gets interest somewhere else, and somebody goes, hey, Anthony, I really like for you to come work for us. He'll go and talk to him, interview with him, and he'll be like, all right, let's do it, right? And it'll happen like that. There's no need to go and like, hey, I quit, cause drama and all like that. Like, everybody pretty much knows that Anthony Lynn's not going to be back. If anybody still thinks he's coming back, I'm like, really? You think so? I don't.
No.
I just don't think so. So, I mean, when I look at that kind of stuff, I'm just like, when I look at this team, I think what we're going to do moving forward on this is I don't want to keep hampering on coaching changes and stuff like that because I don't think it engages a lot of people's interest. What I think what we need to do now is focus on the player personnel. Who do we have that we know we're going to sustain? We have 52 players. I would say out of those 52 players, how many of those make the actual roster? I would probably say, venture to guess, maybe 30 of them,
I was say 30 something, right?
right? The rest of these are going to be draft picks. They're going to be free agents that we bring in. They're going to be post draft free agents that we bring in. And so I want to talk about that a little bit because when March 11th happens, there's levels to free agency. Are you familiar with this, Lars Sarge?
Yep.
Right. So, like at first, the first 10 days of free agency, it's all the big splashes. Like you don't call someone to sign then unless you're a big splash. Because if you show interest early like that, it's because you're a big name. And if you get to somebody else that quick, they're automatically going to think, oh, my value is higher than what it is. I mean, they're already calling me,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is first tier kind of stuff, right? So you're going to overinflate their value, right? The longer you wait on a player, the more it drops. But of course, you're competing against 31 other teams. So when you pull a trigger on a guy, right, you need to be sure about their value. So what's going to happen on March 11th is the big splashes are going to come. I would hope, and I'm just saying this, I would hope for the Washington Commanders we do not make a big splash initially. I would rather, because we have so many holes, that we're looking for second tier level free agency. Just like when I say in the first round of the draft, instead of just pulling the trigger at number 7, if we're able to trade back and maybe even trade back again, I prefer that because we need more top talent at that second tier range because we have so many holes across the board. We have to rebuild a football program here.
I don't think we have enough money to make a big splash higher.
Yeah,
I
because if
think,
we make a big splash, it'll take a large chunk of our salary cap and then we handcuff ourselves.
yeah, I think we got to settle the Tunsil deal first.
The Tunsil deal, yes,
That's going to be a huge chunk of our money. We've got to lock that
which we
contract
need
down.
to determine, is it worth it?
Yeah. Well,
Right?
yeah, it is. But that is going to eat up a huge chunk of our free agency capital.
Yeah, but I would always say you need to really assess the cost per benefit analysis on that, right? Because everybody in this organization was just like, you have to re-sign Terry McLaurin, right? You have to. No, you didn't have to. And now
True,
people are going to say, you have to resign Laramie Tunsil.
yeah, he's in a
No,
different age
I'm going to be
bracket.
the first one to tell you, no, you do not have to.
He's in a different age bracket. He's not 30. He's not past his prime.
Laramie Tunsil is past his prime.
Is
Look
he?
up what age he is.
Wait a minute. Is he past 30, Tunsil?
Yes, look it up.
Oh, then, yeah, he's gone.
Laramie Tunsil is up there. So, I mean, look up Laramie Tunsil and come up
Yeah,
with his
then
age.
he's got to be gone then. No
So,
way in hell do we spend that money.
like, we have to be smart of an organization not to blow huge money on 30-year-old plus players.
Yeah. Oh, he's
What do you
31.
got?
See you later.
He's
See you
31.
later. Yeah, see you later.
So, my point being, just like I
Bye.
said for Terry McLaurin last year, you can't give mega contracts to these big players because you're buying a name. We're not in the business of buying names.
Nope.
As a matter of fact, when it came to Terry McLaurin last year, I said we need to trade him and move on with him and get as much draft capital as we can because we need to rebuild this team. Laramie Tunsil, because he's in the final year of his contract, he has no trade value because we don't have him under contract, right? But I will tell you, like, that would have been the time to do that last year, or do a contract extension with him and then tried to move him for talent, right? For draft
we screwed that up, didn't we?
He does not manage players and it does not manage draft capital very,
God,
very well.
Screw that up.
As a matter of fact, they screw all of it up.
Oh my
God. And you know what? It would not surprise me, fans, if they re-sign Laramie Tunsil to some massive big contract.
That would be stupid.
And we would handcuff ourselves for the second year in a row. Not only did we blow major draft capital by getting Laramie Tunsil, not only did we blow major draft capital by getting Marshawn Lattimore, but both of them can end up leaving the building with no compensation, or we end up overpaying for Laramie Tunsil and we only compound our problems.
I guarantee you, if we do a big deal with Laramie Tunsil, I guarantee he gets injured and he's out. He's sitting on the bench. Watch.
He was pretty durable this year, but you got to.
He didn't have a contract in his hand.
Yeah,
but they signed that money because McLaurin.
History usually shows players in their 30s start winding down. Right? They just do. They get tired now. I will tell you, Laramie Tunsil graded out extraordinarily well this year. He was probably the highlight player that we had on our team. As
Jack
far as
Tunsil has 2 years on his deal left. That's what Jack is saying.
Yeah, unless it's voidable. So let me look at his contract real quick while you're doing that. Like, because I was sitting there looking at it, and I will tell you that if he does, I would be almost in the area of like letting him walk. Mm-hmm. So I do have him under contract for this coming year. So if anything, like why are they even negotiating with him right now? I would let him play out this final year because they actually have him signed through 2039, but all those other years are voidable years. So like they're not real, right? Really, 2026 is the only year they have him on for $24.905 million. I would make him play out the final year of his contract.
Who's the guy who represents himself?
He does?
No, who's the player on the line?
I don't know. You keep saying I don't know who you're talking about.
There's one player we have who represents himself. He doesn't have an agent.
Well, I mean, sometimes players do that, and that's not a big deal because, like, players, there are some players that just do that.
Who is that player? Who is that?
I don't know.
Oh.
You keep bringing them up. It's like, if you're going to report something, tell me who it is.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to know.
That's the guy that we have to cut a deal with. That's going to
but it's not uncommon that other players represent themselves. But, like, it's some players are just like, like what percentage do I got to give to an agent? What does an agent do for me? Like, I think I can probably go in there and I know my value. I know my worth. I can negotiate my own contract. I know what a contract looks like. And so sooner or later, players just get to the point where it's just like, especially being in the league.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's Tunsil. It's Laramie Tunsil.
See, Laramie Tunsil could probably represent himself just perfectly fine.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he's had a couple of contracts now. He knows what a contract looks like. He knows what the language.
So we have him locked in for this next year, so we're okay.
Yeah. So if that's the case, thanks, Jack, for the news. I appreciate that. Like, we don't need to move off from that then, right? We just let him run. Yeah. But I will tell you that there's a lot of other players on this team. Like, I don't expect them to be back. Bobby Wagner is a question mark. I don't know I don't know what the best answer is there. He had another very productive year. I don't think we utilized him right. I believe he's at this point in his career, he's an early down guy. And how much are you going to pay for an early down guy? But who else do you have?
Yeah.
Lulu had a disastrous sophomore season with us. He really regressed. And did he just have an off year, or is he now in decline? We don't know.
Yeah. Wagner's early down and in the box only.
Early down and in the box only. I would agree with that assessment. Right? So, but anyway, so we're going to do that. The next Commanders edition we're going to do, it'll be right after the Super Bowl. So we'll have a Super Bowl winner. We'll have the Super Bowl behind us. We'll be 24 hours removed from the Super Bowl. So it'll be our chance to start looking at the Commanders roster. So I'm going to show you guys who we currently have on the roster and segregate out those that are free agents, right? So out of the 52 people, what is our roster really, really looking like at who we have? We have a lot of holes when you look at it that way. A lot of holes. Like when you think about the massive numbers of players that are going to come onto this team this year. I think it's a good opportunity if you know what you're doing as far as building a team. I don't have a high degree of confidence that these new coordinators are those guys. I don't know them that well. Adam Peters supposedly should, although Adam Peters' 2-year track record is getting old veterans to come into the team, which I think is a flawed strategy. I hope he's learned his lesson the past 2 years. We need to get young and build.
We'll find out this year.
We'll find out. Because if he starts missing on guys, I'm going to call him out on. He's going to be on my disappointment tracker. He starts signing 30-plus-year-old freaking edge rushers and that kind of thing. They're gonna end up on my disappointment tracker. So
Yep.
we will see. What are your predictions? What do you think that this team's going to look like?
You mean it's wins and losses, or
Just in general?
we're not? We're gonna finish in the bottom of the division this year, and I think we get 4 or 5, maybe 5 wins, and heads are gonna roll. If it's really hard to say, I don't see. God, so much depends on the draft, but I just don't see us. If we trade back and get a couple more pieces in, okay, we get a little bit younger, right? If we do a single trade back or a double trade back, we get into the second round, we get a couple more pieces. I think we can shore up a couple of places on the defense, and that helps build our defense. We still have some pieces on the offense, right? We do. We've got a couple pieces on the offense. Jaden stays healthy. He doesn't have anyone to teach him what he needs to do. Jaden is Jaden. He's going to get outrun, and we can see how injury prone he is. He goes down this year. He goes down, and he's done. That's what I see. And who we're going to have for a backup? Are we signing Mariota?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, they might. They might because they like him. That's a Dan Quinn decision, I guess, because Adam Peters is deflecting things to Dan Quinn to separate himself from it. But
we don't have
I
a third.
personally would not.
Yeah.
I personally would have my new offensive coordinator, David Blau. As sad as it is to say that,
I mean, he
what
could
kind of
suit up.
system are you going to run?
He was a third string quarterback. He could suit up if it came to it.
Slam the clipboard down, put on a helmet. Oh, let me show you how it's done.
Oh my!
He goes out there and throws 3 picks.
God, I'm gonna lose my cookies. No, I listen. Jaden is Jaden, and he was taking instructions from someone that didn't know how to be a quarterback, and now that quarterback is the offensive coordinator, and they put someone in who is not a quarterback's coach. So Jaden's going to be even more Jaden, which means
that's such a bad thing.
It's a bad thing, in my opinion, right? So they're gonna keep calling the same kind of stuff, and Jaden's gonna get out there, and Jaden's gonna get his little skinny butt hurt bad. And it happened. We thought it was gonna happen in year one. He escaped, right? That first Giants game, he went down. He took a punishment, but he came back and had a stellar year. He really did. No discredit to the kid, right? But year number 2. That crap caught up to him. They figured him out, and it caught up to him. What do you think's going to happen year 3? What do you think's going to happen? If they don't radically change how they use him.
Well, there's going to be some kind of change because you just have different coaches, right? But we all know like the current path record that he's on has been just so RG3 2.0, right? And if you keep going on that path, the same result's going to happen.
There hasn't been
the similarities are like almost identical. It's like almost a blueprint.
Yep.
Like Jayden Daniel is on the RG3 blueprint.
Yep.
Following it to a T. Second round pick, offensive rookie of the year, injured his second year. Guess what happens by year 4? He's out of the league, right? Mm-hmm. He had a problem with sliding, taking too many hard hits, trying to be this elusive player. Always getting outside the box, like all the freaking common things that you see, he is almost identical to RG3, and he's on that blueprint. We have to break the cycle. We got to get him off of the RG3 2.0 plan. Otherwise, the results, unfortunately, will be the same.
Yeah.
He will not be our franchise quarterback much longer.
He just doesn't have the body to be that running quarterback type. He doesn't.
My concern in Washington is this. How are you going to break the cycle?
They didn't.
Who is going to help him break the cycle? Do you believe that Doug Williams' son, who they brought in to be the quarterback's coach, can break that cycle? or is he just going to drink the Kool-Aid? David Blau, who is the assistant quarterbacks coach, does he really know enough to really impose a whole brand new offense? And is he going to be allowed to? Or is he already indoctrinated and drinking the Dan Quinn Kool-Aid and just going to keep it going? Like I just get these cringe feelings that everything's about like everything's fine. Let's just roll with it. Like, and that will be so destructive to this football team if that's the thought process.
Jaden already sucked his thumb and cried, I like me some David Blau movement. And Mama cried, don't take away the one thing that my son's comfortable with. That's all we needed to know. No, nothing's changing.
Ugh.
And Williams isn't high enough on the peck. Williams is a yes man. He's not high enough on the pecking order to change it.
So if that is the case, then I will tell you one of the strong signs of that will be the re-signing of Marcus Mariota. If they re-sign Marcus Mariota, that will be a tall tale sign that everything's going to remain the same.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I agree. And
if they sign somebody else, then it would probably tell me it's because they're really doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll know. We'll know sometime after the Super Bowl when this team starts re-signing players, because if they believe it's Marcus Mariota, they won't want him to hit free and see where somebody else will sign him as a backup.
Yeah.
Because he's serviceable enough that somebody else will re-sign him.
That's a good point, Coach.
Right? So we'll know. We will know sometime after the Super Bowl, but before March 11th, if we're doing more of the same or we're going a different direction.
I just don't believe
will be there.
I don't believe they made enough change on offense to change Jaden enough to protect him. I just don't. And that means he gets hurt for real this time. I think he got away lucky last year, and he missed how many games did he miss? 6 games, 7 games. He got away
enough for you to know that, and I will tell you something else what I see with quarterbacks, and you guys know who are fans out there. You guys know players react differently after they've had a major injury.
Mm-hmm.
They get, it's kind of like the Ricky Bobby thing in Talladega Nights. Like he's like all skittish and like, I'm on fire. Yep. Right? Like they just start like friggin' wigging out because they don't want to get hurt. So like they get more cautious, they get out of their game, they get flustered easier. Like until they get their confidence back, like we don't know. This is like, we don't know what Jayden Daniels is going to come back and look like. And what if he lost confidence in that system? And what if they're bringing it right back? And maybe he whined like, hey, but here's the truth. He wasn't whining for David Blau.
Mm-hmm.
He was whining for Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury's gone. He really didn't get his way.
Yep.
He got something less.
Yep.
Because David Blau was in this locker room last year.
Yep.
So what we have now is something less. And is that a confidence builder? And is it going to make the difference?
He seems to think it is. So, I mean, we'll know game 1. It's probably against the Giants. So,
yeah, we'll know game 1. And we will also know a couple other things. We'll see what it looks like in preseason. How much they bubble wrap this dude? Who else is taking the snaps? So, like, we're a long way from football time. A long way. This is a team that is a skeleton of itself right now.
Yeah.
And we don't know how much that they're going to build. We have 6 draft picks. But I will tell you, we probably need to bring in 25 people.
Yeah.
So that means there's a large number of people that, and they're not all going to get signed immediately after March 11th, like I told you. The first 10 days or so is like the mad rush to the big splashes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into the next round of guys that go into it, and then it starts dwindling down before you get to the draft. Then you do the draft, and then a lot of the signings come after the draft. You start drafting the undrafted free agents, and you start bringing in other veterans who just no one jumped on before the draft, right? So now you're really trying to do it. And that's the time period where we brought in a guy like Von Miller, right? Which we don't need to do this year. Right. I'm begging y'all, Washington Commanders, do not sign 30-plus-year-old players because they have a name. Sign players because they have potential and build a program. That's what we need to do is build a program and show progress for crying out loud.
Yep. Well, I like to, I like to have a positive note, and that is after game 4 last year, our season was so bad, so atrocious. We really are in a position where all of we really can only go up, right? Even with what we with our disappointment tracker so far, we really are in a position where we're at the bottom. The question is, can we get up off the bottom, right? And I think we can to some extent. Let's just see what they do, right? Let's see what they do. We got to give them a shot, right? We got to give them a shot. They are taking.
They're going to get a shot anyway because they're in the league, right?
Yeah, they're taking some risks. They're taking some huge risks. I don't know if
we've actually really hit rock bottom yet, though.
Yeah,
and the reason why, the next couple of months are going to be very telling.
Yeah.
Right? What do we actually do in free agency? How well do we manage this cap? Who's really calling the shots? Is it Dan Quinn? Is it Adam Peters? Is it a collective kind of kumbaya consensus garbage? What is really going on? And if the rumors are true that Adam Peters is deflecting this stuff on Dan Quinn and Dan Quinn's calling shots and he's just making it so in case he screws up, he can freaking distance himself from it, that's not a winning strategy.
Mm-mm.
So, like, what do we really have going on in Ashburn? Yeah. And I would like to say this: like, we'll know. The signs will start telling very, very early. So, if that starts March 11th, I would say by the end of March. By the end of March, we'll have a lot of clues on: are we running the same kind of schemes? What kind of players are we bringing in? Are we really building? Are we thinking that? Oh, we're just filling gaps with freaking old veterans kind of thing. Like, what are we really doing? Were we stupid enough to make a splash? Did we freaking break the bank signing Laramie Tunzel? Like, a lot of these things will come out. And I will tell you, over the past couple of years, under the Adam Peters and Dan Quinn tenure, I expected them to go a lot different direction than what they've done. Right. So either they've learned or that is just who they are. And if it's just who they are, I'm not expecting like great things to happen. I'm just not.
And then there's the draft.
And I would say trade back in the first round. But don't be surprised that they just pick somebody there. I mean, last year we said trade back and get an edge rusher or draft an edge rusher at the position they were. What did they do? They stayed put and they got a right tackle.
Yep. And now you got another.
Saw Jason Connerly Jr. coming to Washington.
Yep, and you got a new OC and a new DC now, so that changes the flavor in the head shed, right? On needs, right? That's different than what you just had. So Adam Peters might be swayed one way or another now.
Here's the thing: how easily was he persuaded by Cliff Kingsbury last year when he was slipped a napkin note and saying, "Hey, I really like Jason Connerly."
Yeah,
and they went and drafted the guy.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not poo-pooing on Jason Connerly. It's just like it wasn't what we needed last year.
Right.
What we needed was an edge rusher. Okay, now they're seeing the light. I need an edge rusher. Well, you're a year late. We were talking about that last year. Anybody who's a fan of this team, I will tell you, anybody who's just an NFL fan in general knew that this team needed edge rushers. Like, you got to like live under a rock and not even be a football fan to think like this team didn't need edge rushers.
Right.
And they didn't pursue it. First round draft pick, right tackle? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Shocker.
And so, like, I just don't have a high degree of confidence that they won't, with the 7th overall pick, go and just pick somebody there.
We'll be watching it close.
We'll be watching it close. And I guarantee you the fans will be jumping for joy, all delusional. We're going to go to the Super Bowl again, just like when we, with the 2nd overall pick, drafted Chase Young. All right, everybody. Well, that's our program for today. Tune in next week because what we want to do next week on the Commanders Edition is we are going to look at those players on there. Who should we really keep? We do have players on this team that we should really keep. We have other players on this team that we really need to develop. We got other players that I think need to go. We got some that we should not bring back on free agency. And we're going to do a deep dive analysis of this roster. We will be post the Super Bowl. But until then, stay tuned every day this week because we will be doing the NFL show and we'll be talking about the Super Bowl and everything that lines up to it as the precursor as we wind the 2025 season down, determine who the champion's going to be this next weekend, and then start the real rebuilding process of the Washington Commanders. Any final comments there, Larry Large Sarge?
None at all. Tune
All
in.
right. Tune in. Make sure you share this link with the buddy. Tell them to come on and talk crap. We'd love to have them. And this is Football Psych, baby. And we are out of here. Good night.